Hello, firearms friends. I'm Joel Colander. With me today, our Director of Acquisitions, Rick Henley, to talk about one of the marquee pieces in our December 5th through 7th premier firearms auction, a very special set of 5 guns. Rick, tell us, why don't we start talking about these guns?
Yeah, so these guns come from the collection of Mr. Will Primos. If any of you are hunters out there, I'm sure you're very, very familiar with him, with his videos, with his products, Primos Game Calls. He put this set together and then decided that he's going to sell the set at auction with the benefit of the sale going to 5 of the best conservation groups in the world. So, but we really, today, I think we just want to talk mostly about the guns because it's all been about this campaign, whereas these guns into and of themselves are worthy of their own video. But this is a 5-gun hammer set, hammer ejector set. They're manufactured by James Purdey and Sons, probably the most storied English gun maker out there. You know, very, very well-known name, make the best quality guns out there. And so they basically started manufacturing them in 2013, this particular set. They reintroduced the hammer gun after decades of not manufacturing a hammer gun, right around the turn of the century, the year 2000. And Mr. Primos, he ordered basically the 5 guns at the very beginning, but he got them a little bit at a time, right? So the first one that he ordered was the 16 gauge, and kind of a cool story of why he started with that. That's something that we probably can all relate to, right? His dad had a 16 gauge side by side growing up that he shot, so that was the first one that he ordered. And this one's kind of unique compared to the other 4 in the fact that you can see it's got sling swivels on it. He had that, had those put on it because he intended to hunt with them. And also it's got a little bit of a different engraving pattern on the bottom.
Well, I saw it had a green heads on the bottom, so appropriate for a man who made his bread and butter on duck hunting, that it does have sling swivels and the green heads underneath. Hits close to home. That's a neat gun.
Yeah, I mean, despite the price, he meant it to be practical for himself. But a couple of the very unique things about this set. Number one, as Purdy told him, they had never made a 410 before in a hammer gun. They ended up making 10 of them. This is a unique one. All the others are very different than what this one is. But then they said, we are never going to make another one. We're never going to make another 410. We have the historian of Purdey basically stating that on video that we have in one of the videos for the set, stating that they will never make another one again. The 28 gauge, they've made very, very few. We've kind of tried to figure out exactly how many they made, particularly in the hammer ejector gun. This might have been the first one, but they've made very, very few of those as well. But kind of going a little bit further into like the guns themselves, each individual gun, and kind of some of the unique features. Like any English best quality gun, right? Like each one of these has an action that is specific to the gun. I mean, they didn't take the 20 gauge action to make this 410. This is a 410 action, which that's what makes them so incredibly difficult to do, because each one of these is handmade, hand fitted. I mean, that's what English best guns are known for. So also kind of one of the unique features of these guns, you'll see they got kind of a semi beaver tail forend. That was something that Mr. Primos asked for from the very beginning. He designed it himself, essentially, sent them kind of what he wanted. And so they put that on all 5 of the guns as well. Typically with particularly your older ones, you'd never see that on a hammer gun.
You have like a splinter forend, something a lot thinner for swinging.
A lot thinner. But you know, that kind of protects your hands from the barrels. They start to get hot. And then on the bottom, the engraving itself is, you know, very reminiscent of the early Purdey hammer guns. And then on the bottom, each one, he had a different game scene of particular game birds that he liked to hunt. Each one is unique in and of itself because of that game bird scene.
Noticed a lot of traditional English scroll on these. I know we mentioned the mallard on the 16 gauge, very appropriate. The mourning doves on the bottom of a 410. Like just a beauty, not only the birds, but the scenes they're in. You know, you see this desert background, and on such, you have this very small canvas. It's exceptional work. So they are consecutive. It's a one-of-a-kind set that Purdey has stated they will never be making again. And of course, they're for a tremendous cause of conservation, but there's more than just what appears on the table.
Yeah, I mean, so each one of these he had came with oak and leather case, Purdey case, a whole bunch of chokes. Will Primos is a competitive shooter as well, so any competitive shooter is going to have all kinds of chokes for different situations. So a full gauntlet of chokes for each one of these guns. So I mean, he was fascinated with the story of Earl de Grey, who is probably one of the most famous game shots in England. Was known to use Purdey hammer guns. So he had gotten an article back from Purdey on Earl de Grey, so it's just kind of a unique thing that he included as well with the set. So yeah, we've been showing the 5 guns. There's a lot of other stuff that comes with them, and obviously oak and leather cases are not cheap. So you've got a whole bunch of accessories that go with each gun as well. So.
And they're all gorgeous, as only Purdey does, with their full set of accoutrements, and then they all match this, coin finish. Yeah. Love that. Love the touch of Earl de Grey coming back to the hammer guns. Again, that old fashioned with the new fitting, with the new manufacture. Yeah. It's all just about perfect for a new set of Purdeys.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole point of them coming back with the hammer gun, is like kind of going back to their history, but you've got the modern techniques, the modern steels, all that. So
very appropriate. A man who loves heritage and is hunting heritage to be donating all the proceeds from these to charity.
Yeah, I mean, we can't emphasize enough the generosity of Mr. Primos in this endeavor, and we're so honored as well to be a part of this project. Again, the money, all the money of this project, yes, there's going to be no buyer's premium, no seller's premium. The entirety of the money is going to be going to, again, 5 of the best conservation organizations in the entire world. All 5 of them together are really what allows us to have just plentiful game here in the U.S. And allows us the right to hunt it.
Absolutely. To see more pictures, I know from here you can only see so much. Please hop on to rockislandauction.com. You can see just how good this engraving is, all these fine details that have been considered in the commission of this 5-gun incredible set of Purdeys. And of course, you can place your bids in that December 5th through 7th premier firearms auction. Better than that, you can come put these in your hands December 4th. It's a full day of preview, not only to handle these guns for yourself, but any of the thousands of guns right there at our new facility in Bedford, Texas. We hope to see you there.